All right, time for another game, and this one is called Station 12. And before we get started, a little bit of feedback here. Great to have a starting menu, whatever page here. Even better if it has a bit of sound, especially for us recording. We can record snapshot and see that levels and everything are in order. So let's hope music is about right for this. Or there is no sound? Oh, maybe there... No, yeah, there should be sound. Hear no sound. All right, we'll hope that there's nothing wrong on my end. Tab is playing audio, and we would be recording audio if there was. So let's assume this works. I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit here, just space to interact. And that was right. Random scraps, yep. Saw something here. Shock stick. Yep. I hope or do I need to do something? Like, place to interact. Let's scroll again. No. Hopefully I have that. Yeah. Full animation. Really a bit confusing there on the picking up aspect of things. And yeah. Also, camera placement isn't the best. It's not horrible, but like if I stand like this, ideally I should see a piece of this wall still here. I know it doesn't make physical sense, but so one trick is to just have the camera as a child to the player character, just move it back a little bit in the tile, and you might need to change sort of the near clip plane and stuff like that so that it doesn't start to render part of the boxes when you're standing like this, having here. But in general, you expect to, if I don't see anything to the side here, I expect, well, actually in this case it's true, but yeah. So if I don't see anything to the side here, I expect I can strafe to that side. All right. This cute little animation. Oh, and very, very good of them to show their health. Good. That's a sliver there. That's a sliver there. Yeah. Even if they're not friendly robots, very nice of it to show its health status on itself. And I like it as a design. These are also really cool. Of course, the ceiling isn't as cool. That was cool. So I can... Oh. Right. So the movement is maybe a little bit on the slow side. And I don't know, maybe we'll get more of these, but I would argue that so far the game shouldn't need me to use the mouse, especially since, as you yourself noticed, that the combat is sort of simple at the moment. So either if we're going to get more and different weapons, which will make the combat a little bit more interesting, maybe, then binding this one to 1 and then 2, 3, whatever, some sort of hotkey system would be a good quality of life thing. So, I can. Oh, interesting. So, right, good. I'm always a bit scared with web games wanting me to press escape. Because a lot of the time that doesn't get captured by the games. Medium level, cool. We get a pipe, so we get another thing we can fight with. Now we can do medium level tech. I mean, the graphics is simple in one way, like, but it's also really well made. What happens? We actually close it. Cool. There's a little bit of a sound there. Pressure release. Such sound when the door slides. Now I get to choose. Is it better though? I think it did more or less the same, right? That's not a door, or maybe it is a door but it's closed. We don't know this, but it is interesting that it looks like you could input it manually. Not sure I really want to go in here, but no. It hurts. Need health. Well, here I do want to go in. The one thing that's good. That also happens if you do fix this camera perspective, as I was talking about before, that I don't see the wall to my right here, is that you actually don't end up with your face this much into the covered locker here. But what will happen for these lockers, since they side here, since they stand out this much, and the midpoint is somewhere like here, you move the camera something like this back, it will be inside the locker. So the near plane of the camera will need to be moved forward about as much as you move the camera backwards for it to not start to look strange. I mean, there might still be camera clipping through entities and or stuff you've placed in level. I'd say it almost part of the genre, especially if we're talking jam entries. Right? What happens? That's funny. So the design here also, that I maybe it's all accidental, but it feels like you're doing more or less the same, but maybe it's different crit chance, or maybe crit chance does twice the energy, but that it's designed around that you end up leaving this little sliver. Probably not the best. I guess it would have felt nicer to just get to the completing it earlier, or if it had more health, but we still end it more cleanly. Very nice looking chairs. Simple, but also really sells, like many things here to me, sell the retro futuristic vibe of this place. Like it's a coherent style and coherent choice. That computer though, I think you can see it is in there. And there's something with the shadow casting here now. Please. But the shadows here don't look like they are doing exactly the right thing. Can I scroll? Game isn't responding to anything. The game isn't responding to anything. Actually, I'm just gonna pause here for a second. So let's try and speed run this a little bit more. Nothing there, yeah. That one. But that, if I was remembering, I did remember the codes there, I could probably have not gone and called thing, right? But yeah, this really needs to be first. I don't. Just going back. So yeah, I need to press space there. So since I need to use mouse at the moment for some actions and space for others, it's a bit bad UX wise. And maybe these, they're funny, so they're good in that sense. Oh yeah. But it would be nice if maybe it was like 1 or 2 hits less. But that's also me running this for the second time. And or maybe that the new weapons, find like that pipe there, that is actually substantially stronger, so that because of the fights being more or less same thing, if it was substantially stronger, it would feel more like a progression on my part. I got new toys, made me stronger. Cool, that type of thing. Let's see what happens. We're approaching the same place, I think. A little bit more. There's all this stuff. No. I need to go back you. Here. Could have been neat also, because the cassette tapes are sort of data tapes. They're cool. It could have been neat to have them as a small U, I think. Collect them on one side, show the colors that we collected, like over here. They could sort of overlap stack on top of. See what I missed. So I was very close. This is a good. I like that even if I was that close, I like that I got to see this because that definitely adds a little bit. I think it would have been cool, even cooler. I think if this area's textures, which of course, given time restrictions and everything, felt even more work in progress, and then you shut down. And then I know there's a bug, so nothing happened here, I think. But yeah, I think that, I mean, as you said, the combat isn't very engaging, but it is funny how you both the robot attacks and your attacks, but just streamlining it a little bit so you can just use the keyboard and maybe get through the robots 1 or 2 cycles faster, I think would have helped a huge amount there. So I think this is a really good little game. I did very much enjoy playing it, enough so that I enjoyed playing it a second time, and I'm not upset that it crashed and I had to go through it all again. So it could even have, like, maybe not exactly like it is now, no progression in the tags, that part, but it could very well have been a bit larger and longer, I think, which is a rare thing for jam games. And I feel often that they are a bit longer than they should be, but this, I feel like, could have explored its setting and itself a little bit further, and it would have been really nice to see where you took it. But yeah, thank you very much for the game.